Hello and welcome back to another episode of Scriptcase by me. And in this episode, well, I'm going to show you another one of those new features that is coming next week or in the next few days within the latest update of Scriptcase. And yes, you heard that right. It is in fact an update, not a new version. Okay, it comes with 9.10. And with 9.10, we not only have a brand new menu, which you've just seen in the previous video, which is, yeah, it's pretty sexy, right? And of course, there were more features or layouts options there, which I did not show. So for those, of course, you will have to wait. But otherwise, I think you got the idea. And of course, now I want to show you the security module, because the security module has also had a bit of a run over. Or should I say, it has been ran over. Because yes, as you see, there is a new layout style to this. So when you go to create your security module, you have your profiles displayed here very nicely, for which level, the type of group they are, and you can use them straight away. Now, if I go ahead and start to create a new security module for my project, then I have now this new interface where I can choose then the type of security. Now, you may notice that it looks like there is an extra LDAP, but there is not, because if you have used LDAP, then you'll know that it also has an option for application authentication, and that is then here the difference. Okay, so in this case, I'll just go for the usual group. And here we again have a nice new layout. We can choose here our connection, and then we add then here our sample security tables, whatever we want to call them. Okay, and of course we could give that any prefix for our tables that we want, and we have, as previous, the option to use the existing tables or create new tables. And then we have here these nice little check boxes here that were check boxes, which are no more. And of course we can choose one of those and enable then the protected users or social network authentication or whatever you please. And again, I do apologize for my big doggy. Okay, so if I go next here, then here I have all of the general options, and as you may see, it's a little tidier than before. We have a nice layout here for everything that is available. We can choose our theme, enable the menu, and yes, that generates in the new menu system. So I would choose to create a new menu, and then we can see that in action in a moment. Okay, so we enable the security in our applications. Remember the login, blah, blah, blah. Nothing has changed there, okay? And in general, it's the same. Now, here for the login, this is where things have changed, okay? So on the login tab that we had previously, okay, it may have not looked the same, but some of the options here are new, because you may notice here, we now have the option of setting the password strength. Okay, and that is then of course also indicated for the user within the login. Now, capture is not there right now, but it is coming soon. Capture, recapture, that should be then available within the live application. Okay, so we have here the login label, and the login mode is, as it indicates here, a new feature. And we had previously only the option to log in with the user login, okay? And now, or the username, which is, of course, the global variable user login. Now, here we can specify the username or log in with the email address of the user, or both. So you can log in with your username or your email, whichever you prefer, which is definitely a nice addition. Okay, we have our typical encryption options, and then of course the password strength options, and then our fields to specify, and then our template is now down here. And of course that is then where you then enable your external libraries. Now we have here our email settings, and everything that you see for the security is now also managed within the back end of the admin user, which is also awesome. So when you generate the security, it will be available within the back end. All of these options you're seeing here. Okay, so we have our users, nothing has changed there. Of course, just the view of it. For the two-factor authentication, there is the new option here of the operation mode. So we can now choose if we want the two-factor authentication for individual users, i.e. they choose to use it, or we can enforce it on all users, which is definitely a very nice feature. We have here our insert data option, which nothing has changed. That is just then our username, password, and what we want the admin account to be, and so forth. And now the option for our add applications has changed, because previously there was no option. It just did it. It included all of the applications regardless if you wanted it to. Now in this case, it will include all of them, or we can choose and select the applications to which we want to have security enabled. So again, that will save us some time from entering those applications, removing the security, and of course, running the application again or redeploying it or whatever what stage you're at. And of course, that will make things a little easier for testing, as well as redeploying the security at later stages. Like maybe you're going to redeploy it now. I would. I'm going to. Okay, so that is all, or they are all of the options we have available now for the security. So some nice new options there. Now, I do hope some of this is improved, and of course hope, well, it's not one of those lost things with Scriptcase, because they generally keep working at this and adding awesome new features. So one thing I would definitely like to see is with this password strength, that is immediately, when enabled, activated also on the login page. Now I should note this yes note is not in fact for the password strength. I don't remember exactly what that was for. I think this was actually to enable languages on the login page. So choosing this yes or no will enable or disable the language selection option on the login page. Okay, so if I go ahead and generate that, and it's telling me I need an API. Let's just go ahead and choose here the mandrill, generate the security, save the profile, and sample one. Off we go. And of course, it's not allowing that name. Just sample will do. And then OK. It's not liking my dash in there. And now I could generate the source code. And then, of course, we can log into that and have a quick look at the new interface. So if I go run and open manually, of course, or with your pop-up that you should have already, I have now the option to log in with the user or the email address, as well as down here the option to change the login language. So here I can change it to Italian, and it straight away goes to Italian. And of course, I can change it back to any other language I need. So here, if I log in now with my username and password and log in, I now have the new menu system, which is lovely, right? So we have all our security options here. And if we see our profile up here, we also have here our profile information already set in here. And then all we need to do is add any links that we want available within the profile menu option. Now, the other options here, of course, if you did not see the previous video regarding the menu, then do check that out, because you will see then also how you can customize this menu further. Okay, so if I come now here to security and settings, we now have a completely new layout for our settings options for the security backend. And we can pretty much configure everything now. So from here, we can change the theme, we can enable or disable languages on the login page, change the login mode, just randomly, the security options, as well as the password strength, if two-factor authentication is enabled, and of course for who and everything else, because all those options were available to us previously, and we can configure those again. We have then also the options for new users, as well as then the email options, which then also comes here directly to SMTP, so we can enable also the SMTP options directly within the back end of security. So many of those features that I'm sure many of you have just manually added into security, and I know I'm one of those, they are now already there. It's going to save us some time, right? Which is pretty awesome. And of course, there will, of course, always be more coming. So if there's anything else you could think of here, why don't you just leave a comment at the bottom? I'd love to hear what you think is missing from this. And I know for me is straight away the password strength displayed on the login page. That should be automatically there. And, you know, considering it's displayed within the applications, why not? Other than that, I'm pretty much drawing a blank, and I'm sure you're going to let me know. And of course, I hope you have enjoyed this video. And if you did, please hit that like button. Subscribe, of course, if you like this video and you like to see more videos about Scriptcase, you know, products that are good to use with Scriptcase, and, well, just about anything else related. So thanks very much for watching, and until the next video.